Hari Om. In this part, we will explore the meaning of the 23rd Shloka of Sri Vishnu Sahasranamam. Gurur Gurutamo Dhama Satya Satya Parakramaha Nimisho Nimisha Sragvi Vachaspatiruddharadihi. Now, let's examine the meaning of this shloka. Sri Adi Shankara considers Guru and Guru Tamaha as two different namas, but Sri Parasara Bhattar considers them as one nama, with Guru Tamaha. Interestingly, Sri Parasara Bhattar considers Vachaspatihi and Udharadihi as two separate namas, while Sri Adi Shankara considers them as one nama. However, the overall name count remains the same because of this. Guru Tamaha means the foremost among the preceptors. Sri Parasara Bhattar takes Guru Tamaha as a single compound name as noted above and interprets the phrase Guru Tamaha as an adjective for Guru, that is, the Guru who is the best of all Gurus. Guru means spiritual preceptor and Tamaha is a superlative meaning the best. In Sanskrit, the addition of Tama to the end of the word makes it the superlative degree. Thus, Guru Tamaha means the highest or the foremost amongst all preceptors. Sri Adi Shankara views this as two namas, Guru and Guru Tama. He interprets the name Guru in two different senses, one as the great teacher and the other as the universal father. He says, Sarva Vidyanam Upadeshtrutvat Sarvesham Janakatvat Va. He is called Guru because he is the great spiritual teacher of all knowledge and also because he is the father or creator of the universe. He justifies this by saying, Virinchadinam Api Brahma Vidya Sampradayakatvat Guru Tamaha, meaning he teaches the knowledge about Brahman to Brahma himself. This idea is mirrored in Svetashvara Upanishad, which says, Yo Brahmanam Vidhati Purvam Yo Vai Vedanscha Prahinito Tasmaihi, meaning he who brought Brahma into existence and imparted the Veda to him. In a similar vein, Mahanarayana Upanishad says, Guruhu ka itihi Guru Sakshat Adhinarayanaha, meaning the ultimate Guru is Sri Adinarayana. The beginning of the Guru Sishya Parampara is believed to have commenced with Nara and Narayana. In Dharma Chakram, the writer says that he is Guru Tamaha because he pervades everything and is everywhere. And all we need to do to get his teachings is for us to yearn for it. All that is needed is a quest for his benevolence in order to make progress towards attaining true knowledge or jnana. Dhama means abode. Dhama has three meanings. 1. The place of residence. 2. The supreme light. And 3. The abode of all desired things. Dhama first appeared as Trikakuddhama as Nama 62. Some of the same interpretations apply here too. Sri Parasara Bhattar interprets this Nama by linking it with the previous Nama and refers it to the Matsya-avatar. He points out that Bhagavan is Dhama because he is like the helmsman who steers the boat carrying the seeds of all the transitory moving and non-moving objects at the time of Pralaya. Sri Adi Shankara interprets the Nama as being the supreme leading light. According to him, this meaning is appropriate as Narayana Suktam says, Narayana Paro Jyotihi, meaning Narayana is the ultimate light. Sri Ramanujacharya in his Gita Bhashyam says, Param Brahma, Param Dhama, chooses the meaning supreme light for the word Dhama. Dhama Shabdo Jyotir Vachanaha, Param Jyotihi. The writer in Dharma Chakram elaborates further on the term supreme light. The eye sees with the light from the sun, but neither the sun's light nor the eye can see the ultimate. For that, one needs the light called Bhagavan's grace, the inner light. This is what Mahavishnu is, Dhama, the supreme light, which can reveal what no other light can. It is the eye of the intense desire to reach him that can see this light and no other eye can. Other interpretations given include, he is the abode of all desired objects. He is the abode of all desires. And he is the abode of all karmas. Swami Chinmayananda, in addition to the interpretation of supreme light, gives the alternate interpretation that he is Dhama because he is the ultimate goal. Incidentally, the reference to Char Dham or the four abodes are the names of four pilgrimage sites in India that are widely revered by the Hindus. These are Badrinath, Dwarka, Rameshwaram and Jagannath Puri. It is considered highly sacred by Hindus to visit the Char Dham during one's lifetime. Satya means the good. This Nama has occurred previously as Nama 107 and will occur once more as Nama 873. Satya means he is the pure truth. He is made of prana, matter and sun. He is well disposed towards the noble souls. He is ever the same in the past, present and future. Sri Parashara Bhattar points out that he is Satya because he was good to Satpurushas such as Manu who sought his help at that time. Sri Adi Shankara summarizes this all by saying, Satyasya Satyam. He is the truth behind all truth. Satya is one who is excellent in Sat, based on the Panini Sutra. Sri Satyadeva Vasishtha refers to the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 17, verses 26 and 27 for a definition of Sat in Lord Krishna's words. Sadbhave sadhubhave cha sadityetat prayujyate prashaste karmani tatha satchabda partha uchyate yakye tapasi dhane chastitihi sadipti chochyate karma saiva tadirtayam sadityevapi dhiyate. Meaning, the word Sat thus refers to existence, goodness, good acts, firmness in sacrifice, austerities, gifts, or any acts for such purposes. One who is excellent in all these, or one who supports those who act along these lines, is Satya. Satya Parakramaha means one of unfailing valor. Parakram means valor, so Satya Parakramaha is one with true valor. In Adi Shankara's words, Satya Avitataha Parakramo Yasya Saha, one whose valor is true and unimpeded. Sri Parashara Bhattar, continuing on his interpretation of the sequence of namas in terms of the Matsya avatar, gives the example of Bhagavan performing truthfully the courageous acts towards Manu and others. The writer in Dharmachakram points out that there can be two kinds of valor, one which is used for the good of the people, such as that of Sri Rama, and the other that is used for demonstrating power and for hurting others, such as that of demon Ravana. Meditating on Mahavishnu gives us the ability to develop the valor of the right kind. Now, let's look at the Matsya avatar. The Vedas, with the aid of which Brahma performs his role, happen to slip out of his possession at a moment of his respite. An Asura by the name Hayagriva, not to be confused with the Hayagriva avatar of Mahavishnu, who was alert, observed it, and instantly devoured them. But Vishnu, the preserver god, was watching this. Since Pralaya, or the dissolution, was to follow soon, the Vedas would be lost for the next spell of creation, unless they were retrieved. Bhagavan was wondering what was to be done. He noticed King Satyavrata, also known as Vaivasvata Manu, was doing penance, subsisting in a river, making the ritual offering of water to sun god. The Lord immediately assumed the form of a fish or Matsya. As King Satyavrata scooped water from the flowing river, he sighted a tiny fish in the water he had scooped. When he tried to put it back into the river, the fish pleaded with the king not to do so, as it would be eaten up by the big fish in the river. King Satyavrata took pity and took it into his kamandalam, an earthen or metal water pot with a spout used by ascetics, and went back to his palace. Overnight, the fish grew too big to be in the kamandalu. The next morning, when the king looked it up, the fish requested him to remove him to a larger vessel. King Satyavrata did so, but soon the fish became too big for the larger vessel also. Addressing the king, the fish said that he should protect him and find a suitable living space for it. King Satyavrata then emptied the vessel into a large pond near the palace along with the fish, but in no time the fish grew as large as the pond and filled it. Then the fish exhorted the king to take it to a large and deep lake. Although King Satyavrata took it to several lakes, one larger than the other, the fish kept growing bigger and bigger. It went on asking for larger and larger living space. Satyavrata became exasperated and decided to put it into the ocean. While he reached the ocean, the fish addressed him thus, "O king, do not put me into the ocean. I am sure to be swallowed by the gigantic creatures there. Satyavrata became suspicious now. He was despairing to know how a fish could grow so big as the largest lake in a matter of days. He then realized it was Lord Mahavishnu in the form of a fish. Satyavrata immediately prostrated before the fish and prayed to be told why God had appeared in the form of a fish. The Lord told his devotee, "Just a week from now, the ocean will rise and inundate the entire universe for the dissolution of creation. At that time, you will see a spacious boat approaching you. Do collect all the seeds, plants and animals required for the next spell of creation and get into the boat and await me. Take Vasuki, the king of serpents, also with you. The Saptarishis will also be with you." The fish left for fulfilling its mission of retrieving the Vedas. The Hayagriva Asura saw the gigantic fish approaching him and was overtaken by fear. He held the Vedas tightly in his mouth, but soon the divine fish slew him and recovered the Vedas and restored them to Brahma for him to resume the function of creation at the appropriate time. As foretold by Matsya, Pralaya set in, and on the turbulent waters a boat appeared. King Satyavrata, the Saptarishis, and all the living creatures found heaven in the boat. The fish, in the color of gold with a horn, came by and ordered that the boat be tied to its horn using Vasuki as the rope. While the boat floated safely on the rising and enveloping waters, Vishnu taught the rishis the highest form of truth. This collection of truth has come to us in the form of Matsya Purana. Lord Vishnu in this manner saved his true devotees from dissolution so as to hand down divine knowledge and save the Vedas from destruction so as to ensure creation after the dissolution. After the deluge, Manu's family and the 7 sages repopulated the earth. Nimishaha means one whose eyes are closed. According to Adi Shankara, this means Nimilite yatho netre yoga nidra ratasyato nimishaha. His eyes are closed in yoga nidra or yogic slumber, hence he is called Nimishaha. Sri Parasara Bhatta interprets this Na ikshate iti nimishaha. His graceful sight does not fall on those who are opposed to him or his devotees. Sri Radha Krishna Shastri points out that he is Nimishaha with closed eyes because he does not need his eyes to see. The Dharma Chakram writer points out that he with his closed eyes is seeing all because he is everywhere in every one of us all the time and is watching all that happens everywhere even without eyes. Those who contemplate on the Yoga Nidra of Vishnu can close their eyes and meditate, and over a period of time will be able to focus their minds towards him in that state. Normally, whether our eyes are open or closed, they wander in worldly thoughts. Animishaha means one who is ever awake. Sri Parasara Bhatta interprets this nama in terms of the Matsya or the celestial fish incarnation. In this avatar, he never closes his eyes and is ever watchful of his devotees. Fish do not have eyelids and so never close their eyes. Sri Adi Shankara gives 2 additional explanations. He is ever awake because of his wisdom, or he is Atma Swarupa and Atma never sleeps. He says Nitya Prabhuddha Swarupatvat Animishaha Matsya Rupataya va Atma Rupataya va Animishaha. One is reminded of Tiruppanarvar's concluding pasuram in Amaranadipiran. In Amudanai Kanda Kangal Mattandrinai Kanave. While the Arvar sang this when he was describing the beauty of the Lord in the temple, the statement aptly applies to the inner eyes as well. The Dharma Chakram author gives the significance of this name as indicating that one who meditates on this nama will be always spiritually awake and bad thoughts and worldly distractions will never enter his mind. Shragvi means adorned with the garland Vaijayanti. The word Shrag denotes a garland. Shragvi is one who is constantly adorned by a garland. According to Panini's Ashtadhyayi, as Maya Medha Srajo Vinihi, the affix when coming after Sraj indicates association with. So here the meaning is one who is associated with the garland always, referring to the Vaijayanti garland of Vishnu. Sri Adi Shankara says, Bhuta Tanmatra Rupam Vaijayantyakhyam Srajam Nityam Vibharti iti Shragvi. He is called Shragvi because he is always wearing the garland called Vaijayanti, which represents the 5 basic elements of the Tanmatras, that is, taste, sight, sound, smell and sensation. Sri Radha Krishna Shastri gives the reference to the Vishnu Purana. Panchaswarupaya mala Vaijayanti Gadabrataha Sabhutha hetu Sanghatha Bhuta mala cha Vaidvijaha. Sri Satyadeva Vasishtha derives the meaning starting from Srij, to create or set forth. Since all creations such as the stars, sun, etc. are his creations, he is Shragvi. In a garland, there may be different kinds of flowers, but they lose their identity as soon as they are part of the garland. So also, all these different creations are together like the Shragvi or Bhagavan Vishnu. Or just as it is common practice to identify an important person in our society by putting a garland around the neck, Bhagavan is distinguished by this unique garland to indicate his lordship and superiority. Professor Srinivasa Raghavan points out that the Vaijayanti is composed of the 5 precious gems: pearl, ruby, emerald, sapphire and diamond. The writer in Dharmachakram suggests that we should focus on all our tanmatras to the service of Vishnu. He gives the example of Andal, who decorated herself with a flower garland just to make sure it was good enough for Lord Ranganatha. She came to be known as Suri Gurutta Sudargudi because of this practice. Vachaspatihi means the Lord of Speech. Sri Parasara Bhattar says that he is Vachaspati because it was he who propounded the knowledge of the Vedas through Srimad Matsya Purana. It is the power of expression in the Matsya Purana that reveals the guna of Vachaspati in him. Sri Adi Shankara interprets this nama and the next one, Udharadihi, as one nama. He explains, Vacho Vidyayaha Patihi Vachaspatihi Sarvartha Vishayadihi Buddhihi Asya iti Udharadihi Vachaspati Udharadihi Iti Ekam Nama. He is the master of all knowledge, being of magnificent intellect. Thus it is one name combining 2 related attributes of Bhagavan. Sri Satyadeva Vasishtha explains the term Vachaspati to signify that Bhagavan protects or is the master of Vidya or Veda. Udharadihi means one with vast knowledge. Dhi here means buddhi or intellect. Udhara means generous, noble, illustrious. Udharadihi means one who has a generous disposition towards his devotees, or one who has an illustrious or magnificent intellect that can capture all things at all times. Swami Chinmayananda gives the interpretation that Bhagavan has a large-hearted tolerance to appreciate the weakness of his devotees' heart and espouses great sympathy and infinite kindness towards sinners in general. He has enough paternal kindness to overlook our trespasses, unlike the laws of physical nature which are blind and uncompromising. Hari Om Tat Sat.